Hello and welcome to the third ever episode of the Football Centres podcast. Returning host Trent, Dean and Reese with me, boys. How are we?
Treno, always a pleasure, mate. Beautiful day outside and even better inside here with you boys.
Yeah, of course.
Excellent, Trent. I like how every time you introduce, you go the third ever episode of the Football Centres. Is that going to continue through?
It is, because there's not going to be another third episode, is there?
That's true. I like it. Continue to use it.
It's strong.
It is strong. Hope everyone enjoys it.
The first intro, not so good.
The first intro.
It was very hot.
I will leave it till we get to maybe episode 10 and then we'll recap on that intro in episode 1.
Yeah.
I think that'll get a lot of engagement.
Some will be pros by then. Maybe Treno.
I think so. Oh, yeah, I should be. So, episode 1 we talked about mental health and football. Episode 2 was the centre itself. This week is going to be about the local football scene here in Perth. And we're going to start talking about the centre itself and the leagues we run.
Yep.
So, we're running 4 leagues at the moment.
Yep,
4 men's leagues.
So on Monday night we do the over 35s. Tuesday night our Division 3 league, which is always quite strong. Wednesday night is our Division 2 league, and Thursday is our Division 4 league. So coming the new season, which is March 23rd.
Yes, March 23rd.
That's the start of our new seasons. We're going to launch our Divi 1s back again on the Monday, so we're going to share that with our over 35s. And we're going to look to do a Saturday Division 5, which is something we haven't done before. So fingers crossed that can kickstart as well.
For sure. I played in the division Thursday night last night.
Very
tough. Very tough.
Who did you play for in there, Treno?
Oh, I can't exactly remember the team name.
I think it was
Boys.
Car Park Cahills.
Is that who you played for?
Yeah.
Car Park Cahills.
What were they like?
How'd you go?
It was a good win. It was 10-2.
Hold on. He's been given it the big one since he's walked in these doors. How many goals did you score last night? 5.
I think Tash got a few photos of them as well.
So nearly a double hat trick.
Nearly double hat trick.
So you're pretty much saying...
And I didn't plan dinner well as well. You know, it was off the cuff. I wasn't ready. Had to play. You know, didn't have my boots on.
Muscles weren't warm.
Didn't have my boots on.
And you still scored 5.
Still scored 5.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
You know what?
Very good, Treno. Maybe you need to jump up a division if
I think
that was
I do.
Division 4.
I think we might take him at Athena.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It depends. Depends how you go this weekend.
We're not getting there yet. That'll come next.
All right, fair enough.
Come next. So basically, on our divisions, we're gonna speak over the league ladders.
Yes.
Who's top?
Who's doing well.
Who's struggling? And we're just here to let all the viewers know what's going on, what's happening.
Yeah. So over 35s league, very very tough.
Yeah. Look, I've heard some good things about the casuals. 7 straight, haven't lost a game.
Yep.
And I think, by the looks of things, they look like they're going to take it out.
Have been recording some of their games. They've brought it.
Is that Captain Courageous Neil, by the way?
Talk to me, Neil Hookway. Huh?
Captain Courageous.
I heard he leads that team.
He does. He should wear a captain's armband, really.
I was going to say, does he wear one or not?
He doesn't. He should.
Because his little boy Dylan, we took him for a private session on the weekend. He came in with a captain's armband, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was his dad's that he gave to him. So
that's true.
You never know. I might have to hang around on Monday to see if he does wear the armband.
Trent, go on, Trent.
What I've seen of the casuals, very impressive. Professional side for the over 35s, I think.
Yeah.
And I want to see some good analysis post game with their video. I want to get a good breakdown of.
I've got a good feeling that Neil, after each time they play, they watch the game, see what they've done right, what they've done wrong, in-depth analysis, like you said.
Yeah.
And that's why they're 7-0. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's why they're 7-0.
I'm just waiting for that video to get sent through to us so we can post it.
True.
See some of the football that's been
Actually,
played.
the team they versed one night, the Mohangs, or similar name, they wanted the video to analyse their game as well.
Moosang FC,
Moosang.
that's it.
Ah, interesting. I wonder if they gave him that a benefit to review their own performance there or not.
I don't think
Or
Neil's
charge
that
him a
type of
fee.
guy.
I think Neil will keep it to himself, you know.
So next, boys, we're going to talk about our Tuesday league, which is Division 3, and it's always been quite competitive.
Yep.
And I guess another great thing about the centre is, we've got great referees in Ross Edwards and Liam Barkley, and Treno, yourself, you've helped out on occasions. And they do quite a good job in controlling things when it gets a bit hot and a bit wild.
Which it does in all indoor facilities or futsal
and
games, I think.
And we've always wanted to set a good standard here in terms of football, but as well as, feeling safe as well when you're playing, because we've heard lots of stories about fights and all that sort of stuff, which we don't believe in, especially when you're playing social five-a-side football. And yeah, we want to try and cut that out. And with having good referees, hopefully that stamps, that side of it out of it too.
Yeah, for sure.
And we haven't had any issues at all. So the boys have been excellent, and that comes down to the people walking through these doors as well. I think, like the coaching we do, you set the standard, you set the environment, they know what's expected of them when they attend, and everyone's usually very well behaved. So there's been no issues in that regard at all.
For sure.
Yeah.
But who's on top of the Tuesday league?
So the Tuesday league, big shout out to Lawrence Gorgon. So they're also Norfolk and Chance is their name.
Yep.
They're also from memory 7-0. Haven't lost a game. And I think that does come down to Lawrence and his leadership qualities, and also the fact that he's probably played for one of the best teams in the country. Not in this country, in the world at the moment. Liverpool.
Incredible.
As a junior.
I'm not sure how that works with him fitting into Division 3.
Probably.
Either he's going
he's on big money. I heard.
Bit
I
unfair.
heard they pay him. I'm not sure what the rest of his team is like, but going from Liverpool to Football Centre Division 3, I got to start asking some questions.
Well, unfortunately, Loz, it was his last game on Tuesday night.
Yep.
So he's moving to Sydney. So big shout out, Loz. Enjoy your time there. And you've linked up with, what's it called? The Liverpool Australia.
Like association.
Yeah,
over there.
association. So he's doing work for Liverpool Down Under, which is
cool.
Awesome for his career, and he's
sure.
previously obviously worked with the Perth Glory Juniors. So I'm sure it's a role he'll relish as well.
It will be interesting to see how they go without Lawrence now moving into the finals, because next week is the final week of the season, and we've got our finals. So we'll see.
Could be a big loss, mate. Could be a big loss.
Very big loss.
It'll be devastating for them if they can't take it out after 7 wins on the trot.
So next, boys, Wednesday night.
The Fluffy Squirrels, they always seem to be at the
I
top.
just want to give a quick shout out to the Fluffy Squirrels. I think they've been with us
Since
from
the start.
day one.
Yeah.
Day one.
And they've registered for every single season since. I don't think they've missed a season.
Nope. So Lance Alavakis, Vinny.
Probably the best goalkeeper I've ever seen.
Ever seen Grace the centre?
Ever seen Grace the
That's
centre?
going to be.
huge
That's
shout.
a big shout. 'cause I know there'll
Alex
be
Vitesky's been in here.
Vitesky.
I haven't seen him. I've only
Jason
seen Lance in action.
Saldaris,
Yes.
goalkeeper of the year. But yeah, I think we've had some good
In
quality
terms of,
coming
in terms
these
of
doors.
loyalty, though, the Fluffy Squirrels, I don't think you can put anyone past them.
And that started with Darko signing them boys up, and then
Yep.
since then it's just been continuous. And
Yep.
they've always been good. They've been respectful. They enjoy their football, and they love coming down here on a Wednesday night, so that's much appreciated.
Yep.
But yeah, so rightly so, they're top of the league at the moment, and
The
some
boys,
of your mates.
Yes,
Treno,
the Moyes.
One boy I used to coach, Kano Otobrino,
Yep.
second in the league.
Legend of the centre.
Legend of the centre, 6 points behind. Do you
Well,
think
there's a
they
bit
can
of a
catch
gap.
him? I don't think they can catch
Yeah,
him.
the Moyes.
Well, there's only one game.
There's one game left, and then it'll hit the finals, so they might not face each other in the
first week.
semi-final, but they could face each other in the final.
Yeah, the Moyes play good football, but have struggled in front of goal. They've always
Is it a
struggled.
fitness thing with Kano, maybe? Would you say?
I thought
Or is he
Kano
in goal?
plays
No,
in
Kano's in
goals.
goal. Kano's in goal.
So
So
that
fair.
they've-
Is it still a fitness thing? Sorry to Kano.
We're going to have to ask Kano.
They've relegated Kane to strictly in goals.
Okay, that's
But then
smart choice.
Yeah,
Smart choice.
they play good football, but they struggle in front of goal.
Okay. Okay.
So that's something they got to work on.
Look, I'm going to say Vinny's probably, if we had an award for, what would you say, player of the series, I think he'd win it
Player
most
of the
times.
tournament.
season.
He's very tidy in,
Very tidy.
tight areas.
He knows the angles,
I think he knows the centre.
He knows the centre.
Playing here that long, he knows how to play the centre.
That's a big thing. Experience in here is a big thing. When
Yeah.
new teams first register in here and they play their first game, they get a big shock. They don't realise how big the pitch is, and you actually got to run
Yeah.
to be successful in this league.
Gotta run.
We kind of find it quite tough.
Yeah, it's super tough, especially if you don't have the ball. There's a lot of running involved.
Also,
Yes.
go on, Treno.
One thing with Fluffy Squirrels, those boys, sometimes they have like midweek games at night, and they still come in and play their game before.
Yeah.
Mate, just
They love it. They love it.
They love it.
Hats off to
Commitment.
them boys.
Commitment.
Also, another team that's been with us for a very long time, I think from the start as well,
Yep.
the Rangers.
Rangers, yes, they have been.
My brother-in-law, is
Yeah.
that what you call him? Paul Naum.
Yes. that's
Curtis
correct.
Pryor's also been a
Curtis
flyer in that team.
helped out every now and then,
I
but
think
I'm
he
good.
plays on Tuesday now,
He's
Curtis.
joined a new team.
Curtis
Curto.
Pryor, that is.
But yeah, with Paul, look, they always rock up. They always play their part. Maybe not the best side that we've ever seen on
They play
paper.
with a lot of heart, Dean.
A lot of heart. I think when they have Studer in their team, they're a much stronger outfit.
They're tactically sound, but they lack a little bit of the quality sometimes.
I'd say the legs aren't there anymore,
Yeah.
Treno.
Yeah.
A few older bodies need a bit of youth.
I think it's shown I think the first, year and a half they were in the Monday Division 1 league, and they kind of realised that maybe, hey, this standard is a little bit too much for us, and they dropped down to Division 2.
They could be pushing over 35 soon.
That's a huge shout.
That's
They're getting on in
transition
age.
in the league.
I'd like to hear their feedback on that comment.
They'll come back, I'm sure.
Where are they on the ladder, Dino?
They're currently sixth.
Six.
So they're not doing too bad. I think they've got
a
a sniff to make finals.
In the mix.
But they need to win. They need to win games.
They need
and
3 points next week, definitely.
It's huge. It's huge next week.
For sure. Okay.
Wednesday night done.
Wednesday night
Thursday
done.
night.
Big.
Now this is when it gets. This is probably the tightest league so far, I'd say. Orange Justice, they're currently top only by 3 points, and there's 2 teams that are second and third with 3 points behind. So
Tight league.
Very tight.
I think, like you said, 2 games to go or 1 game.
One game.
One game
before
to
the
go.
finals.
So depending on goal difference and all that, let's see who finishes where.
Yep.
But should be an intriguing final week next week.
Because for Dino, for all our viewers out there, how's the final systems work? Is it top 6, top 4?
No, so basically, depending on the teams in the league itself, it'll be the top 4. So all teams will play regardless.
In the
It'll
finals,
be in the finals, but it will be the top 4 that'll be challenging for the final. So it'll be 1v4 or 2v3.
Yep.
So whoever wins, obviously those semis go straight to the final. Whoever loses, they play the next week, but obviously in a nothing game.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome.
If that makes sense.
Shout out to the Caltex Skillaroos for the only team to have a sponsor in the football centre.
They got a sponsor.
Caltex.
Oh, the boys.
Unbelievable. Do they wear a front shirt sponsor? Or
They
is
do.
it...
They do. They're 3 points off the top 4. So boys, you got to win next week. They might even get me down. I've heard rumblings. They might ask me.
I heard there's been a few people scouting you
After
your
last
performance
night,
last
I mean, you know,
Mate, news travels quick, Treno, with that performance, mate. So
it's a small centre. When news gets around.
oh wow. Alrighty, where are we now?
Okay. So I think that's our
That pretty much covers it all, doesn't it?
our football centre
Yeah.
tournaments. But there is the NPL Night Series semi-finals coming up.
Yes.
And as we're talking about the local football scene in Perth, I think it's important to cover those 2 games.
Yep.
So Perth Soccer Club and Perth Glory, one semi-final, Gwelup and Floreat, Dean.
My team, yes.
What are we thinking for the Floreat game, Dean? Floreat and Gwelup.
Look, I think it'll be a very good game. It'll be very intriguing because Gwelup have signed really well. They've recruited well in the off-season, obviously getting promoted into the NPL. And the quality of players, like I said, they've signed is of first class. So
Yep.
look, I'm sure they're going out to win, like we are. Like I said in one of my interviews I did with Peter Simcox, we've been together for 3 or 4 years, so we're quietly confident in that aspect.
Yep.
But again, knowing them boys, they all know how to play football. They've been around for a while, so just because they haven't,
Had time to
gelled
gel,
or
yeah.
had time to gel, I'm sure Tucky would have them, ready, especially for a big game on Saturday night. So
Yeah, for sure.
look, we're quietly confident, but I'm sure they are too.
100%. And the Glory and Perth Soccer Club game, another intriguing semi-final.
Yeah, look, we played Perth last week in our final group game, and like us, whenever we play Perth, it's always a tight game. Limited chances. Whoever scores usually wins, and
Yeah.
it's 1-0, 2-1.
It's always close
Never,
game.
never a blowout. So,
Yeah.
look, Perth, they got a great team again.
Yeah.
They lost a few
Lost a
boys
few players, but-
going to Melbourne, but
They've recruited well, though,
yeah,
haven't they?
again, they've recruited smart. Ramon's smart. He knows, if he's losing certain players, he knows how to fill those gaps and which players to bring in, which he's done.
Yep.
But yeah, there's a real, I forgot his name. I think his name was Jaden. He played right wing. Real young boy. I think only 17.
He's
and
lively. I liked him.
Yeah, I think he's come from the Glory setup.
Yeah.
But maybe as a Perth junior as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was really good to watch, to be honest. Whenever he got the ball, he was positive, tried to take people on, and we don't have many of those players anymore.
Yeah.
But I guess that was good that Ramon paid the faith in him to start, and he did really well. So
Yeah, for
props to him.
Yeah. I think any team you get into the semi-final, final night series, you're pretty much ready to go for the season.
Yeah.
In terms of your fitness and pre-season regime, it's a good competition as well.
Of course, I think a lot of players I know use it as a platform to be ready for the season ahead. Obviously, at the same time, you want to win games, and if you do that, fantastic. If you don't, I don't think too many teams are too disheartened.
Yeah.
They might be trying out new formations, different players, different positions, new players coming into the team.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things they want to you can work on, I guess.
I think from a player's point of view, you want to be battle hardened leading into the season as well. So the more competitive games,
you play,
and definitely like Dean mentioned, you want to get that winning mentality as well. But in regards to those two games, I think a lot of it comes down to personnel and who's actually on the pitch for each team.
Yeah, who can make it.
Like, I'm not sure what's happening with Glory at the moment, because they've been swapping and changing
A lot of their players.
their squad, with a few first team players coming down and the young boys their first week when they played against us. So you just don't know. And then the Guelph Floreat game, that'll be a huge game.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a blockbuster game. But again, it comes down to who Guelph put on the pitch. They've got so many players now. Whether they field a strong 11 or they look to rest some more players, I'm not sure.
I think they'll be ready. They'll have a full strength team.
Yep.
I'm sure they will. But yeah, look, the top 4 teams that are in it now, whoever makes it to the final will be a good final for everyone to watch. And I think it's a double header with the women's team.
The women's
night
team. Should be a
series.
good
I think
crowd
it's a
then.
double header, so that'd be
really good.
Yeah.
Well, night series are
Always good.
the best crowds.
Yeah.
Out of the whole season.
Yeah.
With the double headers, it's bigger than the finals almost. It's definitely bigger throughout the season. So it's a great little atmosphere to be a part
Yeah,
of.
the night series always gets a good. They usually get good crowds.
Well,
crowds.
last year playing in it, they had the Division 1 night series final before, because I was in the final last year against Bayswater against them, and I think they got in about 3,000 through the door on that
good.
Friday night
Really
or
good.
Saturday night, whatever it was. But that's what you want. You want more people in the door, seeing the local league, and
That's what it
just
used to be
supporting it.
like back in the day.
Back in the day, it was a lot's changed obviously in terms of football, and I don't know fans that come to watch the games.
I mean, Glory struggle for numbers, and then you're not going to get numbers at the state league level. But it's a tough one.
It is a tough one. But young families, that's where I think we need to focus on as well, getting them down.
Yeah.
New kids that come to clubs, can we get them to watch the first team?
Yeah.
Hang around the club. That would be ideal.
Well, yeah, as a kid, you always remember growing up, you looked up to the boys that were playing first team at the time, and you wanted to emulate them or be in their shoes one day. And hopefully, I've spoken to the Floreat board about that, and just getting kids to the game,
More
walking
community.
the kids out onto the pitch. That was
It
a
makes the
huge
day of it.
highlight, and they love it too. And it's been good lately because every time we win a game now, we get the young kids in, sing the song with us,
the
and
field,
I'm sure it'll be great for them as it is for us.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So the predictions there, Treno, what's yours for the game?
Floreat 1-0.
Floreat 1-0.
Floreat 1-0, and
And
the Perth and Glory game
Perth 3-1
3-1.
against Glory.
I'm not going to give a prediction for my game.
You're just going to say Floreat are going to win.
I'm just going to say Florida are going to win. Perth v Glory, I think Perth will win 2-1.
You reckon?
Perth Soccer Club there, sorry. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm going with Sorrentino, Guelph to get one over Floreat.
It's a bit rough.
For a few different various reasons.
Yep.
And I think Perth will turn over Glory.
Cool.
Interesting.
Okay. Just pause it there. Okay. So we'll quickly touch on the State League Night Series semi-finals: Olympic Kingsway versus Fremantle, and Western Knights and Forestfield.
Yeah, look, the first game, Olympic and Freo will be, that's another tasty Divi 1, semi-final.
Two good clubs.
Two great clubs. And I think with both high aspirations of, coming into the NPL.
Yeah.
They've recruited really well. Gary Williams down at Kingsway and Cammy Lord down at Freo.
Yep.
I know they've signed, different types of players, quite a few
Of
from
quality,
Rockingham, from memory.
Yeah.
Cammy Lord. Yeah, and Kingsway. I know Gaz has just had a strong side because we played them in the FFA Cup last year, and and they pushed us all the way. So, and I've previously worked under Gaz at Kingsway, so I know they'll be ready for another big game.
Well, they got a
against
lot
Freo.
of name players as well. A lot of players that have played in NPL,
In NPL,
and
NPL
just
experience.
recently dropped down. So I think it'll be a fantastic game and a lot of good quality on show.
Yeah,
I think
for
a lot of people look at Division 1 now and think, they're way below the NPL.
But
It's not like that at all.
No. And
Especially-
Division 2, the top of Division 2 and the end of Division 1,
it's very similar.
Yeah.
Very
Look,
similar.
you're playing against those teams. You need to be right on your game. If you don't show up, they'll punish you.
Yeah.
And that's I guess that's the beauty of Divi 1. We played, I think, Guelph actually in a FFA Cup semi a few years ago, and they touched us up 4-1.
Yeah.
So, not saying we weren't ready for that, but teams in Divi 1 are just as good as NPL teams.
Most definitely. I remember Dianella, I think the semi-final of the Cup 3 or 4 years ago now, and we only beat them 1-0, but it was
Intense
like the
game.
scrape of our teeth.
Yeah, tough game.
Yeah, super tough game.
The second semi is...
Yeah, so just quickly on Olympic, I know
sorry,
they've
Trina.
I know they've had when they're in Division 2 and they put in that 5-year plan to get to the NPL. I think they're on track.
Yep.
That was, I think they're year 3 or year 4 now.
Yep.
So hopefully that's been put in place and they're going to get it.
Well, look, they got a great president in Stephen Elkoski, which we've known through our glory days for quite a while, and he's a great man. He's probably a real good guy to bring the club forward.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm sure he's doing all the right things in doing so, because, like I said, he wants them in the Premier League, in the NPL.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was like how Yure was with Gwelup. High aspirations of getting them into the NPL, and that's his goal, and I'm sure he'll get there eventually.
For sure. Okay, so the other one, Western Knights and Forestfield. Tough.
Yeah, that's another big game, because there's some seasoned boys at Knights that we know of.
Yep.
And Forestfield under Graham Normanton, look, another big team with big focus
Aspirations.
on getting into the NPL. The Knights, Louis Macca, I used to play with him. At Floriat. Sam Stone, who's
he's on episode 1.
Episode one
podcast.
I'm pretty sure he's the skipper there now.
Ooh. Sam Stone.
Is he? He might be second in line. He was either skipper or second in line.
Don't say that to me.
He's coming along. They got Andre Jukic
Very
there.
smart man as well.
If he's in front of Yuka, there's problems at Knights.
They got
already.
Cardi there, Andrew Cartwright, good player. They have a lot of tardy players there. Lot of tardy players. Whoa.
Get it out.
There we go.
Look, I'd have Jukic as my
That's
captain.
the first mistake.
Yep.
Jukic or Louis Mack if he can stay on the field for the season. You just got to manage that old body, I think.
It's a shout out to him there.
All right,
Predictions then for the
predictions.
games.
I'm going to go Olympic over Freo.
What are you saying? Scoreline.
2-1. Okay. And I'm going to go Forestfield over Western Knights. Forestfield home advantage. I think they're pretty sure they're playing at home.
Are you sure?
They played the group stage there. Or the quarterfinals.
Not sure.
Okay. 1-0 Forestfield.
1-0 Forey. Okay, I'm going to go 2-1 Freo.
Okay.
And I'm going to go 2-0 Western Knights.
Nice. Very
Yeah, I'm going 2-0 to Kingsway.
Yep.
And I think Western Knights will get the job done, and it'll be 3-zip.
3-0. Very nice. Very nice.
Too much quality, I think.
Moving on quickly, Treno, where are we next?
We're going to talk about the first round of the NPL.
Okay.
Quickly, as next week we'll talk about quickly, but we won't have in a podcast. So we'll quickly fire through the games and get a prediction, I think. Armidale and Bayswater, the first game. Reece?
Gonna have to back Basie.
Yep.
First games you never know, but I think they'll just be too strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, look, I think
Agree.
I'm with Tiggs. I don't think they'll win by a big margin.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a tighter game than people think, because I watched Armidale a few times after our night series games, and they've recruited well too. They've got a strong team. I think Basie 1-0.
Sure. I'm going to join the Bayswater bandwagon. Yep.
What
Okay.
is-
Score?
No scoreline.
No scoreline.
No
Win,
just
draw,
a win.
Win, draw, loss.
Win, draw, loss.
All right. Balcatta, ECU Joondalup.
Well, it's a tough game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tough game. You've got Kenny Lowe down there at ECU now.
We're trying to get him on the soccer podcast.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Any response? Or?
We'll get a little bit of response from the ECU. Yeah.
Awesome.
bite.
I'm going to back ECU here.
Yep.
Away from home. Just think, Kenny coming in, a bit of fresh blood, a new voice, a new style of football. We'll get him over the line.
I like it.
I'm going to be boring and call it 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
2-2 draw.
Very specific.
I like the draw. I think there's goals in the game. I think they're both very attacking, and I think there's goals.
So ECU were the draw specialists last year.
Well, Balcatta never conceded either, didn't they?
I'm going to go 0-0 draw.
Oh, just copying me
There you go.
with the draws.
Inglewood, Rockingham.
Well, all reports, I think, obviously, Rockingham are struggling at the moment with personnel. So, Inglewood, I still don't think people take them seriously for some reason. Last year they finished second, they made the final.
Yep.
They've kept everyone.
Yeah.
They brought in
Robbie Petkoff from us.
from Floriat, good player, can bring people into the game. Yeah, so I think Inglewood will take the 3 points.
Yeah, I think 3-0 to Inglewood. But look, depending, I'm sure Rocky have had, they didn't have the greatest of starts in the night series, but I'm sure, look, they'll need to recruit if they want to stay in the league
Quickly,
because you want to, especially as a when you start in the season, you want to pick up points quick, so you don't have to think about that side of the table. You want to
just push on.
Yeah, you want to push on, especially for a club like Rocky, and I'm sure they want to stay in the league.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Inglewood for me. So Perth and Floreat round 1 as well.
Huge game.
Yeah, tasty
game.
Real big game. Look, there could be a few sore bodies on Aaron, which we'll touch up on coming back from a wedding.
Yes, I think that's a factor to take into
That's a big
consideration.
factor. It's a very big factor.
Look, we'll be ready.
You'll be ready.
I think Perth Floreat games are always big.
Yeah. Regardless.
No one needs to talk about it. There's been a healthy rivalry. Look, that's the thing. The players, we all respect each other, but when we're on the pitch, we fight to win.
Yeah.
And whether you do it ugly, pretty, doesn't matter. The results what's most important. But yeah, I'll always back our boys, and
of course.
we'll beat them there.
Race.
Yeah, I'm going to back Floreat just purely because of the week leading up, and I think the celebration, and everyone will be, like Dean mentioned, fighting for one another in that club, and I think they'll get the 3 points over them first round.
I was going to go Perth, but you swung me there, Reece.
Awesome. It wasn't hard, obviously.
Trene's copying, I told you.
Sorrento and Coburn. Reece.
Yep, well, obviously I'm going to back my boys. I look forward to round 1 this year. We actually played Coburn last year in round 1 at Percy Doyle, and we ended up losing 3-2, I think it was. But yeah, there's a sense of urgency at the club now. The playing group really want to do well this year. We've brought in some good quality players, and I think the best thing for us, we haven't actually had our best starting 11 on the pitch yet. So I'm looking forward to mixing it with all those boys, and yeah, I can't wait for round 1, and yeah, it's obviously going to be 3 points for Sorrento.
For sure.
I don't have the same opinion as you.
Obviously not. You're your own person.
I think it'll be a draw. Because we played Coburn in the night series, and although they didn't have a full strength squad, they were, they're really well set up. Scotty hasn't played in a great way, and I'm sure Jamie does the same with Sorrento. But I think they'll counter each other, and I'm going to pick a draw, 1-1.
Coburn for me.
Coburn.
And you want to expand on that
Trene's
selection there?
Cam Edwards hat-trick.
Cam Edwards.
Cam Edwards. I don't think he scored a goal in the NPL.
I think he plays centre back now.
Hat-trick.
Cam Edwards hat-trick.
We're trying to get him on the soccer podcast as well.
That's why.
Just
He's trying to get him on the soccer
another
podcast.
shout out.
There'll be a few two penalties and a header.
Cam Edwards.
It's a huge shout.
It's just, I'm embarrassed.
Glory and Guella.
Oh, look, that's a tough one.
Yeah, again, it's who Glory put out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if first team is going to go away. I'm not sure if they're able to play. I think either way, I think Guelph will get 3 points. I think they'll have too much experience, especially if I'm predicting them to take out the night series. I think they'll get 3 points from round 1.
Yeah, I think well up 2-0.
They've got too much quality for me.
I think they'll start the season well.
Yeah, I think they'll start like a house on fire and try and roll it on to the middle of the season. All right.
So that's round 1.
That's round 1.
Done.
So no podcast next week, Dean. A very important moment in your life is happening.
Huge moment, Treno. I don't think it's really
sunk in.
Yeah, it hasn't sunk in just yet, but I'm sure once I get on the plane and I'm in Sydney.
Yep.
Getting married on the Saturday, the 7th of March. Funnily enough, it's my 30th birthday.
Huge.
On the same day.
Well, 2 amazing occasions.
What I don't know what's bigger.
I think Sarah's done really well here because she only get you one present the rest of your life.
Does that mean
combined
wedding anniversary,
do I have to get her anything
birthday
on my day?
I'm not sure.
Or is it our day
negotiate
now?
that with her.
It's a tough one.
Let's not talk about.
Tough one.
But just from me, Dino, I'm looking forward to being there, obviously, in Sydney. It's going to be an awesome day. I hope it's everything you and Sarah desire and have wanted in your life. And that's why I've predicted a round 1 victory.
Look at this! Round
Because I think obviously all the boys are going to be over there. I think just that camaraderie, being over there, spending time together, and obviously missing the week, but there's some more important things than training sometimes, and I think that will get them over the line against Perth.
Appreciate it, Tiggs.
No problem, mate.
Very nice.
Do you want to change your score prediction on the round 1 Sorrento v Coburn game then? Or?
No. I was going to give him a hug then for a second as well, because Reece isn't the most emotional type of guy.
He's really opened up here.
That was beautiful.
You should have. There's YouTube viewers.
The football centre's still rolling on though. In your absence.
Yes.
In both your boys' absence. And hope you had a great time.
Thanks,
Have a great time, Dino.
Appreciate it, Treno.
Okay, Dino, do you want to say anything in terms of some goodbyes?
Yeah, no, look, just obviously a big thank you for everyone that watches and listens. we obviously had a huge response last week in who was watching, who was listening, and it's good. You know, it's good to hear that we're getting out to the wider range of the WA footballing community.
Yep.
And other places around the world as well, looking on the statistics.
Yeah.
Hitting
Yeah.
different countries.
Different countries,
you know,
yeah.
America. There's a few listeners in England, a couple in New Zealand,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So.
Look, it's great, and if people want us to speak about anything in particular, we're
Yep.
more than happy to. So,
For sure.
yeah, keep speaking to us, message us through our Instagram, Facebook, and
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do.
Any topics you want us to talk about, for sure. So 1 week off next week. We will see you in 2 weeks. That's about wrapped it up, boys.
Awesome, Treno, pleasure again.
Always.
Awesome. Okay. We will see you in 2 weeks. Vamos.